hasn't been doing bad at all.
No, not at all. They're coming in the middle of the scoreboard right now. They almost had a victory, just stolen away by Tempo Storm at the end, the one lone Malouk. But here we are. Plane is in the air. Pretty good path. Straight diagonally down the center.
Yeah.
No one should be really upset. I can imagine that Cloud9, if they continue to go to Primorsk, and Tempo Storm a little bit on Gatka as well, could be a little frustrating for them, but for everyone else, this is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's just, that's pretty much kind of two teams that I won't be necessarily too happy about. We already see LG and Vanguard dropping towards North Georgia, or perhaps LG would choose to go to the south side of the Georgia Port area. We're going to find out what happens. So in the meantime, Vanguard stick to their 2 in North Georgia, 2 in looking for vehicles first. Tempo Storm might follow suit, might steal some cars from them. Every other team seemed to be happy to set themselves pretty much on their normal looting grounds. However, there's Obang from GOL. Sets a bit far. So GOL is a plane path, is an adaptive kind of team. They go wherever the plane path goes. They sometimes disturb teams around. This time, they choose to go in Rajak. Looks like Myth might have something to say about that.
Yeah, they're very loose style here.
Myth
But the fact that Obang is so far separated from them begs the question of, like, they're probably not going to be going for an early fight. They got a couple of cars immediately. Tavello is in one, going to school, but Zhao Jue is right next to him, and I can't imagine that they were going to leave that position because no one else is around them. I'm looking for their third player, and I'm a little... Is that him between Ifty and Vega on Sosnovka Island?
Could be. Yes, it is. Whoa, this is a mad split. Okay, so there's one guy in the South Island, one guy in the middle of the map, one guy in Rajak, and well, there you go. Things are happening here. 4 a.m. in the meantime, joined the party on the South George side, unactive, and well, that seems to be it in there. It's going to be going towards the north side there. Well, LG are also currently situated. You can see LG on the right side of the screen there, as 4 a.m. on the left are looting, and they already have a Godby already has an M4. Beastly weapon, man. My favorite. I know some of us don't necessarily like this weapon, even though it's, I don't know what it is to hate about it. I know Moses doesn't like it in particular.
The M4?
I don't even know why. He's a big fanboy, man. You give that guy an M4, he's going to be happy with it.
So, Vanguard here, they have 2 players that immediately dropped land at the same time that LG and 4AM did in that area, but they have the 2 players coming in with the vehicles, which is good for the late game, but we have seen them caught out a couple of times just because of the extra couple of seconds that the full squad of LG in particular have had up there. So you have to wonder if they may get caught out once again with that.
They could be, potentially. Pongo now is going to be with Heva happily looting in their current position. Pajinki there, they don't seem to be contested so far here. It looks to be a very, very clean area. So they're happy as a, I don't know, pig in mud, as we say in Ireland. Maybe that's a bit too hard. But
happy as a clam? Is that the phrase?
Happy as a, is
that a phrase?
I don't know.
I just made it. I'm pretty sure I just made that up. I don't know.
You just made that up.
I don't know. I have no clue.
All right, good start. Unactive and Momino are going to be hanging around the western side of North Georgia. As you can see there, Circle has shown itself, and we're curious to see where it's going to be on the map. We'll see where it pans out there. Drainus, in the meantime, here it seems he's got a Tommy and an M16. It was a pretty good loot for the boys in the Vanguard, well, at least for Drainus. His teammates should have decent loot as well, considering that they've taken somewhat a part of Nojo.
Yeah, he has a vehicle for himself as well. And, ooh, nice little level 3 backpack. That's going to help with looting. Not too much for him necessarily around there. He's probably going to see if he's going to group up with his teammates in North Georgia, perhaps just take some of the trash areas around. Because, like I said, there is the pressure from 4 a.m. to the south, LG to their west.
I think LG might be the first pressure on them. I don't think it will be any kind of an issue with 4 a.m.
No, not necessarily,
but there you go. Circle in. TSM finally happy. Finally getting the circle there. We've been talking to TSM this morning, and well, the information that we got from them is that they need to come up with a with cleaner comms, a bit of a more relaxed style, get into the flow, and hopefully get the circle. And there it is. They have the circle. They have a good position. It's their looting grounds. So technically, they won't need to rotate that much in the first 2 or 3. Well, it depends on the third one, of course. But for now, TSM are going to be quite happy. As are Liquid, as are LG on the screens right now, as are Vanguard. This time around, they've learned to avoid each other. It took them 3 days to learn to avoid each other. Well, yeah, I'm not saying it as a joke, but I'm saying, you know, it's because both these teams don't necessarily avoid fights. I mean, they're very ballsy.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, early game fights, it's always a decision you have to make. Whether sure you can wipe a team and then even steal their loot, but if you play it out wrong, I should say, you then actually lose a lot more resources than it's worth it. Liquid here actually leaving Yasnaya. They could have just stayed in that city, but instead they'd rather take a more controlling position in the more centralized area of the circle. I expect them to do their
because of yesterday. They had we had a circle around the Osnaya part, and a lot of teams actually chose to go in there. Still, Liquid did very, very good. Remember when they took down Vitality close by, and then they took down LG, I think it was. No, actually, yeah, it was Dreams that took down LG.
Yeah.
It was a really good effort out of them. But this time around, they would much rather go into the middle of the circle there and just find themselves a nice place to work with there. In the meantime, Heffa driving that Dacia doesn't necessarily consider that there might be any kind of enemies close by, which there doesn't seem to be any. Pongo close to him as well. And, well, there you go. These guys are going to be on the rotate as well, trying to find a bit of piece of the pie. So teams loot fast. If you're just coming into professional competitive PUBG, what teams do, they loot super fast, and then they go as close as possible to the middle of the circle. Well, most teams do. And because there are some updated circles that the pros play on, they could also play the edge quite safely. So considering that when they strangle, as we are normally used to, they don't strangle as fast as our normal games. They will take their time to close in, but closing in is also Samti, which gets a shot into a smack, but it's going to be James that gets the knockout here, and there you go, Samti already on the move. They're going to try and get Vis as well. This is a danger play with another person from Liquid coming in from the side there. Let's see how this one pans out. Smack locked inside a house there. Vis is on the side flank here as well. There they go, inside. They will try to finish off what they've started. They don't know whether Vis is here or not, but they suspect that something might be happening. But Vis will make the exit for it, and that is the right call.
Yeah, just barely got out of there. Once Smack went down, then the bomb of the vehicle, as well as a third member from Liquid joining up with them. They now have this compound. Very nice find for them as well. They're able to sneak up around that prison area. I don't know if Break was able to hear them, or at least recognize that they were camping up around that area, and just an unfortunate catch out. Yeah, called out Smack.
Yeah, that's well, that's going to be some loot for Liquid that they can grab from there. Funnily enough, we were as well talking to TSM earlier. We were there together, and they said, yeah, we'd much rather stick. Let's see if they're going to be sticking now. It looks like they will be coming up close to one another. But Ninix comes in with a knockout as well into a Nuctive. He's going to be going in for the frag. There's no chance for a res at all. There you go. He finishes up the job, and he will loot him happily so. And you will find some decent stuff in there. Ninix has been, Nuctive has been quite busy with the loot so far here. Another split from a team that is quite powerful and that it doesn't end up well.
Yeah, this isn't the first time that we've seen LG catch out Avangar specifically in the looting compound. Just AVG a little loose split up, and it could be because they're not able to really read LG. LG, they're a new team, and so their strategies aren't exactly as like down pat and strategic as I guess more of the older veterans.
Yeah, they're not easy to read at all.
Yeah, so this makes it even harder for them.
Absolutely.
We gotta be really frustrated.
Goes to the triple. No, they won't. You won't. I mean, there's a very good value into having a UAZ. So, besides the point that it's much more stable on the road than a triple, than a trike, let's say that.
Yep.
You also use it as cover. So again, if you're just coming to PUBG Pro, this is not for the seasoned viewers. Don't worry. I know you guys know this already, but you know, for the new guys coming in here, because we have a lot of new faces in. So what happens is. Teams usually take 2 UAZs, maybe as large as vehicles as possible, to use it as cover late in the circle. They basically create their own compound, they put it around a tree, and they kind of hide in there. So that's very good cover for them. Now, C9 are going to be taking shots at GOL, it seems here, and Myth all the same. Not connecting too much here, Moody. Well, he's not going to be focusing on that as well. This is a place where teams usually stop for transition. This is a good scouting place where they are in this moment in time. And as Moody hasn't heard any shots coming in from this compound, well, we're going to be quite happy to take it as well.
Yeah, a good high ground to spot out everything around you. That's really what a lot of teams are doing in this early game, getting the early kills that we saw from LG, from Liquid. They're good, of course, not just for the loot, but also the points. It's really the early game is all about finding out the information, because the real game starts once you hit the third circle specifically. That's when you really got to play the chess match of give and take with fights, figuring out when are we going to actually wipe another team, because right now it's really difficult to wipe a team just because of the distances between them usually.
You know, there's not a lot of reasons to force that team to come into you or to yourself to go into that team, unless, of course, someone's camping the first wipe, which is very rarely the case unless you're coming in very, very late. But then again, if you're coming in very, very late, then you're probably not going to be seeing anybody there anyhow.
Yeah.
Ask Tempo Storm about it, they'll tell you everything.
Yeah, they're fine soaking in the blue. I feel like it's comfortable. It's a nice little warmth. It's like what are those? The gravity blankets? It's like a gravity blanket for them.
It's not cold in the arena. Players don't need to wear a sweater. Hashtag other casts. So yeah, there's absolutely no need for them to cozy up in there, but they'll make their way later on. Don't worry about it, guys. Tempo Storm is known to come in strong. When they do come in, they usually go as far as they're allowed, and once they're in their point, they will clear out all their angles.
On that note, I was talking to them earlier, and they were saying that because they didn't have a very good first day, but then day 2 and especially day 3, they really skyrocketed up, and they were telling me that they realized they weren't being aggressive enough. And they were saying that they want to be even more aggressive today. And so not just in this game, but also for the rest of the series, I'm really excited to see if they can't continue to push it out and actually start to give perhaps Liquid and FaZe
a lot of teams have been saying that.
Yeah, that's actually been a general consensus across what was it? Vitality?
Has been saying that.
A Vanguard?
Vega Squadron has been saying that. A Vanguard has been saying that. Liquid, well, Liquid are...
They started out like that.
They're beasting out anyway. They don't need to change anything. But a lot of teams have specifically told us, right now when we asked this morning, they said, we're going to change our strats. We're not going to pussyfoot around. We're going to go aggressive. We're going to try and find the frags. We're going to try and find the fights. We need the points. We're going to get in there. And I loved the energy that was coming off these lads. It was absolutely tremendous. That's why I'm saying today is going to be a fantastic show. So please forget about all your schedules. This is the place to be.
Drop out of school. You don't need that.
It's Sunday, man. What kind of...
I don't know. I don't know.
Sunday school?
Some schools.
Did you used to do that when you were a kid?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sunday school. Oh, what a good boy.
I like my education. That's why I'm here watching video games for a living. Anyway, Cloud9 here, watching across the street from Myth. Actually, he's been having an open angle, taking some shots. Nothing landing quite just yet. Monkey, though, does catch out Minoru, though, so Myth in a tricky spot in a crossfire between 2 separate teams. But again, the distance between these squads is going to make it difficult for any of these teams to fully finish out these players from Myth. But it is about using up their resources, using up their meds. Getting drops is always pressure, and that's always good.
Yes, it is indeed. There's no point in that right now for fighting. They're not going to be going for it. Of course, they're going to be sticking around quite close to one another as well. Just in case one of them goes down, there's a risk potentially.
Minoru alone?
There's a risk possible. Minoru, there you go. That's tying into what I was trying to say here. That if you're sticking around out alone, you're not going to be able to get rezzed. So that's an unfortunate start for Myth. We'll now lose a member. There will be absolutely no res possible there. There's no chance for his teammates to actually come into. Harry Potter going for the res, that leaves you in a very open spot as you're climbing up the stairs. So yeah, that's one down for Myth.
Well, the second circle is going to show itself. It's going to be not central in the first circle, but central in the landmass. Oh, no, they are going for the res
on the opposite end on this specific Harry Potter from that angle there, but he's leaving the door open. Nobody actually on the other side. They do have the backup of the other 2 lads from Myth, so everything is okay at this moment in time. So that's actually very good that they get that res. That's very important. Statistically speaking, you have a much, much higher chance to get yourself the chicken dinner, or at least to put yourself in the top 5 if you are a full squad by the 4th circle. So that's a very, very powerful statistic that I can't remember. I'm terribly sorry that I can't remember where I read it from, but apparently it makes a world of difference.
I think it's probably Moses. He's been talking about that. But he could have found an elsewhere. Anyway, rotations through.
I think it was Gamepedia, PUBG.
It's something.
Anyway, moving on.
In any case, stats are stats. Everyone finds them. Everyone makes them. Rotations coming through in the second circle. Profi right here from Ghost at the front, trying to find something. Makes his way through a couple of different squads. Now tries to find another location for himself. Could take this hill, or actually there's a little bit of a bowl that you find here. Not a bad place to play with your teammates, especially in third person, where you can peek over the ridge in a very safe manner, not revealing your body for shots. So curious to see if anyone else from his team is going to be able to join up with them. But Ifty in a little bit of a fight with TSM, I think.
Yes, they are indeed. TSM have taken down some shots. They're playing shelters, which is a powerful place to be in, but you have to be careful because you can be blocked in by vehicles. If a UAZ blocks their entrance, well, they will have some other entrances as well. Shelter has, of course, varied ways to get out, but they are playing the outside as well. Break is going to be on that side there, just making sure that nobody's coming through to them. He is taking shots at Ifty right now. Let's see if they connect Hollow on his M4. Not the easiest of ways to shoot when you don't have a scope.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we did see a couple of casualties, a couple of downs on both Ghost and Tempo Storm. So it's a tricky rotation for them. Looking on the minimap and looking like they are able to correct that, but Ifty staring down at TSM. TSM hunkering in. They already lost one player earlier. Bunkering in.
Oh, yeah. You said butt hungry. I was about to ask you what that means in detail.
Anyway, Mimino gets the full finish down onto Austin. But Jeems actually catches out Aaron Siegel, overextending perhaps. A little bit of crossfire with TSM. But now Mimino here looting up, grabbing on the loot from that player. A little out in the open, but they are on a little isolated area of the map, so they don't have to worry too much. Ghost was making a long rotation around the north side to go catch up with Profi, and so there's really no one else on this edge of the circle because everyone else tried to go a more central position. Playing around Shelter is very strong. There's a lot of cover to use there.
Some shots coming into Liquid. I'm not too sure where they're coming in from. They might be from... Yeah, it is Ifty indeed. The beats are now behind a tree. We'll try to put some shots in return. Not going to be finding it so far here. He's going to attempt them nonetheless. He's going to have to watch out for his teammates as well, which are not close to him. So he has to be careful. In the meantime, look at this. FaZe actually going to go aggressive, and they will take Obank down. There's one more guy upstairs, Xiaozhui, and he's going to be meeting Mixi if he climbs up on those stairs, and Nade might follow first. Xiaozhui might get naded to bits here if Fuzzface has that in his arsenal. Let's see what happens here. The door's still closed. FaZe taking it easy. They're working out the compound. Xiaozhui doesn't need to move. Remember, this is the show match. This is the 3PP match. So Xiaozhui knows whenever a player opens that door, he will be able to spot him.
But it looks like FaZe, they want to stick with this. Yeah, whether or not they realize that there is another player remaining in that tower, it's not necessary for them to take it. Not necessary to keep it. But Xiaozhui on the return, trying to get some more shots out. Not too many lands. Shooting through those bars can be quite difficult as well. And plus, over the hill.
Yeah, and here's what we see from Gol. They're a team that will avenge the death of their fallen teammates. In EU, or well, generally in the Western world, NA as well. If someone dies down, then it won't be necessarily you going for the revenge kills. You just go and snake around and try and stay alive for as long as possible. Because you dying down early gives no benefit to absolutely anybody. But GOL, actually, or Gol, have been playing with big goals, man. They were going into 2v4 fights after two of their teammates got down.
Yeah, they are.
Or 1v4, actually. The last guy didn't actually run away. He stuck around to that fight. I guess there's some pride to be taken from that, but there's definitely no chicken dinner.
No, yeah, not at all. But hey, brave is definitely a word you can call them. And no, next circle reveals itself a little off of Prison, but directly onto Liquid.
They're happy right now.
Yeah, this is definitely very good for them. Some nice ridges, some nice hills to work on. See a couple of relocations on their end. Shadow now coming with the rest of Vitality on this area. They like to take this area. It's just north of Military. There's no real reason for them to push up so far in these circles, and they are still inside the circle. And they also know that Myth are directly north of them. Shiv holding the angle, trying to see if anyone's going to peek into him once again. But here comes FaZe. Once Xiaozhui took the shots, they realized, oh wait, someone is here. Let's go back and take him out. They took him out through the window, whether that was through a grenade or a nice shot. Wasn't able to catch, but did they catch themselves?
Hang on, sorry.
No!
Sorry.
Oh
move
no!
In. Oh, that's the way to move in. That'll work out fine. No problem at all. Mixie's going to get knocked out by Tovelo from Gol. But it's not going to be a problem because Yempty comes in with the Xiaozhui finish, and Yempty hasn't been killed yet, so a res will happen at the top side there. As GOL now, I think they have only one last guy standing. TSM in the meantime making their way through the shelter area there. Closer to Ifty. Do they want to take this fight here?
Oh, Imperial's trying to run away. Right goes on him, so it's going to be quite difficult for him to regroup the rest of his teammates. For 4 AM now on the move as well. They've been quiet so far. Haven't had to fight Jester, but they may also be passing by Ghost's compound. Send some shots out. Vis actually on a 4 AM. Not landing too many of them. It's quite a long range, especially when you only have the red dot sight.
Jack Nashir with the Scar 98. He's got a 4x on top. I feel like it seems like it is indeed. Captain won't be too bothered by it. Maybe and Technar sticking together, and that's a good idea. And they're sticking together with their third as well. I cannot see their fourth, but we'll see it later on. In the meantime, though, Cloud9 have made their way to Tovelo. Man, these guys from Gol have no chances here. First, they get pushed by FaZe, and they get pushed by Cloud9, and they're caught off guard with like solos. Tovelo has the option to spot them as soon as they will go past this ridge. Cloud9 also at the same time might know, and they do know. It looks like they do know that somebody is in this compound here, especially considering that Tovelo fired off earlier on Mixie.
Yes.
That's what alerted Cloud9.
There's also the door open, so if anything, they at least suspect it. Tovelo, as I said, spotting out with a third-person angle, using that to his advantage. Actually, a nice position of the door to spot out the side. Easy peeks in and out as well, yeah.
These guys know 3v3.
Exactly, yeah. These guys are comfortable with third person. They've been playing it forever. Very uncomfortable with first person. You can imagine coming into this, probably most of them, this is their first event.
Long range shots coming in from Vanguard to 4 AM. None of them will connect so far, it seems. They're not going to be too concerned about it. And 4 AM might just go for a wider rotation towards the eastern side of the circle, trying to avoid this fight with a Vanguard. We'll see if it pans out to their advantage or not. Vanguard, in the meantime, have a divot to work with here. The place where they are right now is nowhere close to the center of the circle, but we'll have to wait and see where the next one is. They might go for a fast rotation. Shot finally pop off. Will 4AM be too body? They stop.
No, they want this.
They want this fight, man. They're going to be going for it. Let's see which one is going to be coming out on top. Because both these teams have insane fraggers.
Yeah, 4AM especially pulling out the Car 98. He's doing a good job. He's been really catching my eye, but a lot of shots land onto Drainies. He's going to have to pull away, going to bandage his wounds, heal up before they reconnect to that fight. They don't need to take this fight just yet. The circle is just closing onto them now. They're both inside of it. So it's really going to be where the next circle goes that kind of decides what both of these squads need to do, whether they want to go for the fight, whether they want to pull away, or they're just going to stand still.
October has been killed. There's one more guy from GOL. NPR
yeah.
has been taken down. I think that might be the end of... No, it's not the end of TSM. Still 16 teams. So TSM are still into this one. Okay, there you go. Vis and Break. Break is going to get pushed in by A+. Ooh, that was a danger push. Let's see if it pans out correctly for FD. There's another guy coming in from the left side there. Aaron, a nade my follow suit. Break holding off the angle as Vis retreats. That is some tactical stuff, my friend. A+, a bit too late with those nades. He's going to try and smoke it off as well for a bit of a penetration or a bit of a breach. Will they go for the breach, though? These guys are deadly with rifles right now. These two lads from TSM, absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and they're in a tricky spot right now because if they plug up the hole, actually.
No.
That's what they're doing.
That's 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
I want to see the other entrances as well, see if they're plugged or not. But, yeah, they're going to have to move anyway.
Yeah, it's not exactly inside the circle, but they have to run away from it in order to get out. As you can see on the minimap, Vis and Break there. Running away from the circle, gonna have to get out, go back inside, but now C9 are pushing it onto Travello. They know he's there, taking some shots through.
This is the last guy from goal.
Yep.
This is it. And there's a lot of pride for these teams because it's 3PP. This should be their more familiar grounds. The shot comes in from goal. You're going to find the Frank. He's going to go into safety there. That UMP does not bode well right now for him as he takes some AK damage. And there he goes down by hands of Frolicker. Cloud9 coming out on top with that solo from goal. Being eliminated, and that's a team out of this match. This show match, just to remind you, we've been told right now, here's a bit of a reminder. So it's a show match. It does not count to the whole points. It's the first one just to warm the players up. Don't worry about it. There's still 2,500 to be won, though. But it does not rack up to the points, guys.
Still the 2,500 to be won, though. That's the important part. Everyone wants that money. Every single little bit of money that you can get. Why not? It also just shows that you're the best. Vega taking some shots. Maxor should be picked up soon. They're not all separated from each other, but they are very close to 4 AM, who did leave the standoff with the Avant-Garde because of this circle position, trying to go in onto their flank trades so far.
That res is great. That res is going to help them out tremendously because there's a player knocked out from 4 AM. A second one follows suit. And here comes the frag as well from 54 to finish him off there. I don't think that the lads from 4 AM would much rather go for this res. Nope, it seems like they're backtracking. They're want that area there. They might want to find a way into the compound. In the meantime, Keen has been taken down by Liquid. Liquid have a good position in the white. Atletico is going to try to cross, as you can see on the bottom right-hand corner there, as well as Ifty. That could potentially be in a crossfire. Momino already in the circle, though. He's going to play it slow. Drainus is far away from him from a Vanguard. So this split does not bode well for a Vanguard either.
Oh, TSM, they do get a drop onto Afflux from Ghost. I think it's just Profi left, but TSM... McCoy? Yeah, oh, yeah, so they do still have 2 standing Ghosts. Didn't lose anyone after that very unfortunate drop in the early game by Austin. Here comes 4 AM, able to make it away from Vega, but they may be running directly into all 4 members of Entis.
Entis now playing on the wood mill, or the lumber mill, as you may call it. Very powerful place, a lot of divots, a lot of places where you can hide, a lot of places where you can surprise your enemies that try to come in. So it is potentially the death of 4 AM if they're not careful where they position themselves after this circle. They're going to have to play it slow. But as soon as they're going to take some shots at Vega, that's when their enemy's close to them. That's where Entis are going to know that they're there.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to push so far. They're able to get inside the circle and then know that they are at a big disadvantage with only 2 teammates remaining. So they seem to be okay with just hanging out here and waiting to see where the next circle goes.
Oh, Vis gets knocked out himself, so that leaves Break alone. That's not going to be an easy task for him. There you go. He gets killed as well. There goes TSM. Was that? Nope. He was knocked out. Did Break die as well?
Yeah, TSM's all gone.
Yeah, that's a bit of an unfortunate thing. There you go. 3 teams eliminated. TSM, LG. LG eliminated early on.
Avant-Garde is not in a good spot either. Mumino got down in his rotations. Just Drainey's in the dead center. Liquid crossing over to him. Not too far from a couple remaining members of Atletico.
Avant-Garde are going to have to play with solo, but the good point about Drainus smack dab in the middle of the circle is that he is smack dab in the middle.
And once again.
So all he has to do is sneak around, hoping that he will not get seen, and that's the whole point of playing as he is playing right now. There's not going to be... Never mind. He's out. No, Drainus is still in there. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, there you go. So Drainus was the one that's in the middle there from Avant-Garde. But yeah, in the meantime, 4 AM get themselves 1 knocked out, so that means Captain is alone. Gukun won't be rest. Gukun, a mechanically gifted gentleman. Very
strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Those Carnegie shots from him. I want to see him every day.
Yeah, you can make a really good frag video out of him. Zampa here spots out. A couple members of Myth take some damage in return. Doesn't want to commit too heavily to it. Instead, he's going to recorrect his aim because it's actually a little bit of a split from Myth. They left Neotica behind, perhaps for that exact reason, to create a crossfire to allow the rest of the team to carve a path into the circle. Right now, though, back onto Entis.
No, man, FaZe could surprise them heavily.
Yeah.
Just the way they have surprised 4AM themselves.
They know they have the edge of the circle.
Yes, they do. So they can gatekeep them heavily. This is the 5th play zone, shrinking into the 6th, which means that it's going to take a heck of a ton of damage. You cannot stay too long on the outskirts here. 2 seconds until the circle starts to strangle. FaZe is ready for this. FaZe is just waiting to catch off Entis Ace, and that they will indeed. In the meantime, they deal with Gukun as well. City will be popping out the first shot. That tells Entis Ace that there's enemies on the other side of the ridge. Will they be expecting them? That was indeed a silent shot, but Zampa actually is going to be the one that gets the shot into Minora somewhere else on the map there. No shots connect from FaZe just yet, but Entis Ace think about going in there. Wherever they go, though, they're going to meet the very, very strong EU team called FaZe.
Yeah, they do have to worry because Vega is just to their north. Hopefully, I believe that's Max's or there taking point. Doesn't come too close to them. But they do have a very, very, very nice position to keep Entis out of this, as well as the last remaining member. Baxter, though, yeah, he does spot out 4AM. It's just Captain Lev takes a couple of shots, hides behind a tree.
He's taking shots from several people right now. He's blocked in by 2 separate angles, and he goes down. Indeed, it was Vampire Game that took him down, so Vegas Squadron are quite safe where they are right now. In the meantime, though, a fight pops off between FaZe and Entis Ace, and we're looking at it right now. There goes FuzzFace. We'll try to need off some enemies, well, right over where he knocked one of them down. There you go with that damage coming into Seungyoung. He's going to have to make his way in. Can FuzzFace take him down as he pops through because there's a smoke in the way? He could potentially use it for cover, but then again, it's a blue smoke, so he's going to have to be careful there as well. There goes the fight here. Mixi with the nade against some people. Some people is now getting spotted, but he's trying to make a move in here. Mixi tries to calculate the angle. Doesn't necessarily work out. In the meantime, Tamari and some people have made their way into safety, so at least there's that, but it's not where the blue closes in. It will close in on them.
Yeah, and it's a very...
This is their tomb.
Yeah, you can't climb up for this. There's going to have to...
This is their tomb.
Yeah, exactly. They bury themselves with this one. Atletico goes out in the meantime, and now Vega, they heard that fight breaking out between Entis and FaZe, so they're there to pounce on whoever is the victor, or whoever is the wounded victor. Vitality right now, they pounce from another angle. They drop Jempty.
That's going to be FuzzFace left in this battle here. It's not an easy task right now for FaZe. All of a sudden, it turns Earthways for him. How can they escape this battle? Oh, there you go. Tamari is going to be dying to the play zone in that tomb that we called out indeed. On the bottom right, you saw that the Gens are not necessarily the happiest in the world, but Monkey is going to be quite happy to go aggressive onto this one here. He wants to deal with FaZe right now, but can he do it? I don't think they can. They don't know exactly where the 2 remaining members of FaZe are, but they know that they're still alive because they had the knockouts first.
Exactly, but FaZe know that there is Vitality in their way. Vitality still 4-man strong. It's going to be a very, very hard line for them to push through.
What a surprise.
Well, Vitality, to be fair, Vitality haven't had to move too much into this. Most of the traffic in these circles is obviously coming in from the west and the north side. Them coming up from the south didn't have to contend too much, and now able to keep all 4 alive. Now is their time to strike. Yeah, they stay close together. Now is their time to strike and take over the entire game. Because once it hits...
This is how their team works, staying close. It doesn't necessarily work for all the teams, but for Vitality, it works something wonderful, really beautiful. Their play,
it's almost like they're telekinetic with each other. They work so well together. The Desk was talking a little bit about just how the dynamic on the team is so unique when you look at others. Yeah.
In the old days, let's say Gorilla Core, they were always one next to another.
Good old Gorilla Core.
Indeed. Now, FaZe Fuss is Mixi. Going to try to make their way closer to Araxi. Araxi's already needing the crap out of them. It's a bit short, though. Oof. And it won't connect. Behind a Woodstock there. Maxi's already in the meantime, actually, he's in a fight with Liquid. Ooh, the Liquid lads are looking bad. 2 dropped indeed. 1 last alive. Let's see if Samti is going to be alive for long, because this guy has the clutch potential of a beast. But can he pull it off against Vega?
Yeah, Vega taking some damage from the south on Vitality in the meantime. So they have to worry that they don't overextend in too many directions. Maxi throwing out a couple more nades, going back to get the revive on his teammate. Oh, nope, never mind. Now he's going to... Maybe he saw something in the distance, going to go for another frag. But here's comes FaZe, the push onto Vitality.
Woundship is going to be taking some damage himself. Mixi's coming in with that M249 there. Araxi's going to be at the bad end of this gun as well. Mixi watching to close this one down, but he turns around, bad timing. Shiv will knock him out, and this will be a kill as well. And that's going to be the end of Mixi. Still 1 guy left for FaZe. Let's see if he goes down. FuzzFace, a warrior, truly indeed, but he cannot fight from so many angles. And Shiv will see the bad day, but Monkey puts FaZe down. That is Vitality actually going forward with only 3 guys. I don't think there's any chance that Shiv can out-crawl the blue.
Ooh, it's a little close, perhaps. Just by a seal, I think the blue is going to just barely overtake him. Nonetheless, though, a very good try by FaZe. 2 versus 4, able to drop 1 member of Vitality and potential. Yeah, there's the death coming through. It's actually Vega that picks that one up, but it's still a death for Vitality. So a 2 versus 4, can't be too upset with that, but they are not out of the game. And Vitality, they have the entirety of the southeast side. Vega with, sorry, the north, southeast side. Yeah, exactly. Vega in the northeast side, and its center, the circle centers directly onto Drainies. Once again, lone remaining member of Avangard in the center tower.
Yes, indeed he is. And man, this boy has been getting a bit lucky. Thank God for that, because he's been playing alone. He had to snake his way, and this is the only way that he saw himself right now in the 6th place. Potentially even better, because there are some fights that are about to pop off. As you can see, Vega Squadron are already clearing. They're being very proactive, and they're showing us exactly that what they've told me is indeed true. These guys are gonna go for all the fights, and they are now preparing for it. They hear the shots from Ifty. They will go aggressive on them. Some lads will stay on their spot, while Maxisar and Vampire Game actually go for the side. But because Ifty is busy in a fight with Cloud9, this is going to be an easy shot from Maxisar. He does connect it deep. Swap quickly to the sky, but takes a ton of damage. 0.5 HP on him. That is impossible right now for Vampire Game to try and defend, but he doesn't pull it off either. One sliver of life as well. There's a bit of boost that comes in to help him out. Aaron Siegel and A+ coming in to help their own team. Maxisar knocked out. Vampire Game is going to have to stay alive. A+ Fable gets knocked out himself by Vampire. Now it's all in the hands of TK. Can he pull it out for his team? No, he can't. Vampire deals quickly with him. That res will not happen. Vampire Game is going to have to play his twos.
54th from Vega Squadron is always on the flank, and it's doing wonders for Vega during this game. But now on Cloud9 in a fight of their own versus Tempo. It's NA versus NA. Couple of drops on both sides. Frolicker in the process of bleeding out. It's all that FPS going to go for the... Oh, no! Drainies inside the tower.
It is his time to shoot. It is his time to tell everybody else that that Harry Potter is taken. Vadiot trying to throw in, hoping that he's not going to be seen. Frex is going to be trying to make his way inside the circle as well. In the meantime, Maluk is going to be found by an 8 by solid FPS. Drainus as well takes Frolicker down. That's a good effort by Drainus. Playing bravely even as a solo. All the teams almost have made their way into the circle. Yeah, pretty much all of them have. And, well, is there going to be a res from either Tempo or C9? That's the question right now.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation to play, especially because they know that they're not the only two teams in this situation. Right now, they can easily get spotted out from multiple angles. They need to play this safely, and it's possible they could just let the bleed go down. Oh, C9 with the push does catch the revive while it's happening.
But that denies him from resing solid FPS, because all the attention is going to be drawn to that angle there. Oh, that nade though. No, it's not going to connect. Drainus is in the little cubby on the top of the Harry Potter, so he's going to be quite safe in there indeed. Vampire Game knows that there's a guy where Frex is right now. The res does happen. Vampire Game actually does not go aggressive. He spots something, I do believe so. This is 3VP, just to remind you, only this match here. Only for the 2500. Doesn't stack up to the points. If you're getting tilted, that is 3VP. Don't worry. We're going to FPP. 5 matches after this. It's going to be fantastic. But now, getting back into it. Vega have a very good chance at this, because right now Vitality are split. But that might actually cause them very good
Frex peeks over. He gets a drop on Endinol. But there is a potential trade right there. They know where his position is. Vampire Game going to peek outside the tree. He gets the full-on kill, doesn't allow the res to come in.
And that's going to be very important for himself, because from where he's coming in, if 3 guys would have pushed him from Vega, that would have been an absolutely dominating thing to do. See, now, oh my God, that was a smoke. Oh lordy, I saw that tiny bit of nade come past, and I didn't know what it was. Thank God it was a smoke indeed. Solid and Frex are going to be pushing in now. Vampire Game's taking behind a tree there. That smoke is going to cause some problems into him spotting his enemies to his south. Will he be able to capture anybody from Cloud9? Now that's the question. Vitality, in the meantime, quite happy to play by the edge one inside the circle, just waiting for these 2 guys to finish things off. Who's it going to come as a victor?
Two inside the circle. Oh, spray down on the tree. C9, they know there are more members of Vega there. Move. Can't find any of the shots, but they do have to move because the blue is coming in right on their position. They are on the slow side of the circle, but there's no cover once they get above that hill. Vampire Game finally peeks out. Frex goes a little too aggressive, and he gets dropped just solid FPS to try and clutch it out for C9.
It was all about the aim. He knew he had a divot to work with there, so he knew that Vampire Game was going to peek him, but he tried for that divot where he is right now. Actually knocked out solid FPS. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the case. Look at the way he's hugging the ground there, hoping that he doesn't get eliminated himself, just hoping that somebody comes from behind a Vega. It is not going to happen. It's Vega versus Cloud9 here. Vitality just waiting for everybody else to take themselves down before they do anything. The shots come in, but Solid actually clutches this one for his own. It's a 1v1 situation here. Vega 54th versus starts a solid FPS, and the res might happen for Frex. However, the information is given from Vega's teammate, and 54 steps in and takes that kill. Now Shadow with his teammate, Monkey, and Araxi in the game. They have a very good chance that this Drainus in the meantime hasn't said a word.
No, he's shut up. Once Vitality entered his building, he just went dead quiet. He's just trying to stay alive himself, waiting for Vitality if they want to push his position or not. There's no need for him to peek out. He actually took a lot of damage the last time we saw him peek out. Vitality, though, they do know that he's in there, but they have to worry about not focusing on one end and allowing Vega to take them out from the other side.
Indeed, they have heard him upstairs. They're going to play this one slow. Vega do indeed expect a lot of players to be around this area, but they do not know whether or not this is a full squad. They might be thinking that this is a full squad here.
It's possible.
They might be considering that this is a full squad, which is not. So Drainus could really play off that. If Drainus realizes this right now and he takes it on an easy game, or a slow rather paced game, then that was going to be quite good. But the shots come into Monkey, and those shots will connect. He will get time to bandage up and heal himself, no problem. However, this is the final circle. So here's what's happened. If you're new to the world of PUBG, circle cannot get any smaller than this. This is the final form of the circle. However, after a few minutes, we're going to see a little star on the minimap at the bottom right-hand corner, and that little kind of like an asterisk. And where that asterisk is where the circle is going to
close down,
minimize itself. Yeah, down to a pixel. Basically.
On to nothing.
And
so
it damages you super hard this late into the game, this must be said.
Exactly. So at this point, it's really just these teams, or at least Vega, I should say, hoping that the star does go into their favor, because Vitality, they essentially have control of the entire circle. Vega, all they have is this little ridge to hide behind. Shadow 1K being up there on the side as a crossfire between with Araxi and Monkey, basically give Vitality control of the entire circle. Drainus, and he's just waiting it out.
Yes, indeed he is. Yes, indeed he is. 3 guys from Vitality, 1 lonely, lonesome Drainus. But you know what? You know what I'm thinking?
Yep.
Drainus is probably the coolest cucumber right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably... the shots come in from Vampire. He's going to have to reload his SKS. Monkey not too bothered. Shadow playing on the outside. Man, Shadow's got brass of steel right now. Brass of steel? either brass or steel. But yeah, he's got balls of steel right now. Playing on the outside in 3PP. That guy is ballsy. But there is a tactic to what they're doing here. So Araxi and Monkey are going to start the fire, and then Shadow's going to come in with the second angle. So that's what they're trying to achieve. That's why they're leaving Shadow on the outside. They know that Drainus is not going to peek. He's not going to squeak at all on the top side there. So he's quite safe where he is right now.
Only a couple more moments left before the star reveals itself.
Did it, though? Is it on Vega? Am I seeing something there? No, it's not.
No, that's a cross between the arrows, I believe. Sometimes it's going to be a little hard to see.
It can be quite difficult. Yeah, no, yeah, indeed, the star has not revealed itself. So where that star goes in, just to remind you, that's where the circle is going to strangle into a pixel. And this late into the game, just
15 seconds.
15
it showed
seconds.
itself.
There you go. Where's the star? It's
oh,
in the
it's
middle.
so hard.
It's in the middle.
Dead center. Is that inside the tower?
It might be very close to the tower indeed. Oh, that's a cool shot. That is a cool shot.
But this is going to force Vega out nonetheless. That's,
yes, it will.
That's really the thing. Unless they want to try and out-heal the blue, and you can't do it this time. The blue is closing right now. 54,
there it is.
Just on the edge, trying to take any damage. Vampire Game hopes someone picks out the side behind the tree, but the chunk and damage. Vitality making the run forward.
Oh, there comes a shot from back and forth. Drainus is going to be coming in with a good one, but he might be dying down indeed. Who is it going to be for the last one? It's Drainus that gets taken down, and it will be Vitality with the GG and the chicken dinner. And there go the Frenchy boys. Cool as a cucumber, as you might call it, or actually they're fist bumping left and right, and they do deserve it. 2,500 in their pocket right now.
Absolutely. Very low on the kill count, only coming in with 7, but that's because they were able to maintain their position on the south side very well, very cleanly for the majority of the game. It was only that they had to, that they started to fight. And that's, you know, it may be a little, boring to say the least, not taking that many kills, but it definitely gets them a win like you see right here.